Yo, what up? Home slices, home fries. Sorry, I had to do it. I don't know what it is. I just like saying that. But anyway, so today's video, we are going to be talking about school dreams. Now, a few videos ago, I did, my 2020 dream journal. So now I'm going to use, part of my degree, since it's not being used anyway, for this, right? So there are quite a few times where the setting of my dreams or meditations or actual experiences were in school, whether it was high school or middle school or elementary school. But I also got the question a lot on my other social media platforms, what the fuck does it mean when you have school dreams? So you know what? Today I'm gonna tell you. But without further ado, here we go. Okay, so school dreams. What does it mean? What does it mean when you dream about school or being in school or going back to school? Especially when you're an adult, because when you're a kid, that's kind of normal because that's your current setting. Well, here's the thing. Having school dreams is very normal, actually. And that's because when we were younger, where did we spend most of our time? School, right? I mean, unless you're homeschooled, perhaps you might have a different experience than the rest of us. But so, the thing with school is because we spent a lot of our time there as kids, it comes back to us in our adult years, right? And why is that? Well, when we go to work, right? And then when we go to sleep, our brains like to correlate our current emotions and feelings and whatnot to something similar and things that correlate to those same feelings, right? So here's an example. If you felt very nervous at work, right? But as a kid, you also felt very nervous at school, there's a chance that those two are going to link up, right? In your head, brain thing, whatever, right? Sorry. Yeah. But anyway, so because you have that past memory correlating with an event, and that event was being at school, and you were nervous, maybe it was your first day, then a lot of times your psyche is going to bring you back there in your dreams because it remembers a time when you were nervous at school. And so that goes with everything. Literally, all your emotions, right? And for me, I didn't have the greatest time at school. Fuck, I had so much anxiety, like social anxiety, fear of like authority. I don't know why. But there's just a lot of shit going on. Plus, that's when I started getting sick. I think I was 9 years old. So for me, in elementary school, I would have a lot of fear because I would have teachers that would yell at me for not understanding shit. But it was kind of like I was sick. So it's kind of like I couldn't focus on, two things at once because, I was sick. And when you're sick, the last thing you're going to want to fucking do is read a book or, pay attention in class, right? So I had a lot of issues in school. Plus, I actually had a fucking teacher call me retarded. Literally, she said I was retarded in front of the entire classroom. Yeah, that did so well for me in my adult years. Yeah. Oh, still pissed me off. But so, yeah, that made me grow up with a fear of authority figures and, being embarrassed in public. And, side fact, part of the reason I wanted to start a YouTube channel was to get rid of my anxiety of talking in front of people because I had a huge anxiety of that. And this is way before the whole psychic and paranormal stuff. Like when I first wanted to start a channel, it back when it was like Lido Fine Art, like way like 4 or 5 years ago. I wanted to do it impartially because I wanted to get rid of my fear of speaking in front of people, right? But now that that's over, but anyway, so a lot of things go on when you're a kid, and a lot of times you bottle it up and you try to forget about it, and then now you're an adult, and then these things happen now in your real life, and you start to remember them, and certain emotions that even though if you might not remember the event that it's tied to with the school event, right? Even if you don't remember it, your subconscious does. It will absolutely remember it, and so it'll bring you back there. And so let's go through this. So I have a book here, right? And this gives me specific examples. This is the book I have, if you're, interested. And so this book explains it better than how I just did. So this is just formally explaining it. But so, like I said, so dreams that focus on school reflect your anxiety about how well you are being perceived by others or how well you are performing in work life. Yes, just said that. But, they said it better. If you are still at school or if you have a job and your dream referred to your actual workplace, then your dreaming mind was probably referring to your everyday concerns. If you have left school or the school or workplace in your dreams is unfamiliar to you, your dreaming mind may have been suggesting a past feeling or experience that has relevance for your current situation. Such dreams could also indicate a sense of restriction in your resentment that you can't spend your time doing what you want. Yes, I have a lot of that too. But so, go put that away for a second. One of the issues that I had, and this has to do with being brought up this way, right? So I was raised in a family, especially my dad. He taught us, if you're late, you're going to be a fucking failure. So I always show up between 45 minutes, sometimes an hour earlier than I'm supposed to be wherever I am, right? Now, usually at work, that's how I used to be, but now it's more of a, I'm usually there on time. Usually. Unless something stupid happens out of my control, which now that I live where I do, there's a lot of that. And so now, I notice that I'm having anxiety about being late to work. And so I noticed that I was having dreams about being late to class, right? Because if you were late to class, your ass got in big fucking trouble. It didn't matter if it was your parents that screwed up. The kid was the one who got in big trouble. Really fucking stupid if you ask me. High school, if you were late, same thing. You got detention, even if it wasn't your fault. In college, if you were late, your ass would not be in class. They shut the door, and if you don't make it in time, guess you're fucked, right? Some professors were lenient, and if you were lucky enough to have one of them, then, it would be fine. But a lot of the time, your ass is locked out, and you can't get back in, or they will humiliate you in front of everybody. I mean, at least that's what they did in fucking Kutztown. I don't know. But so, then I had a lot of dreams about being late to work, and then I would be put in a school setting where I'm running to class, being late, and freaking the fuck out, and that was just like the anxiety that I felt in my current time situation, and then my subconsciousness correlating it to a past event. And so that's exactly what the book says. And then it also states that different rooms or different settings or different subjects or majors, depending on what it is, could also be a different aspect of something going on. So let's say you dream of a library, right? In your school. But then you literally, you just went through the first day of work and you're going through training. So that would make absolute sense because the library is a place of learning, right? And you just went through work training. So that makes absolute sense. There are times where, and it also is different for each person. So let's say you're horrible at math, right? And math gives you anxiety. If you have a dream, you're at school, and the teacher calls on you to do this math problem, and you can't do it, and you're just freaking the fuck out. Maybe it's because what you're doing in your current, day-to-day life, you're doing something that gives you a lot of anxiety. You're working on a problem that you can't figure out. Maybe you're an IT person, right? And you're stuck with a problem or a client that, you can't give a solution to, and then you feel like a failure. Well, then that dream makes absolute sense, right? And so each thing, correlates to the person specifically. And so each dream, that a person may have about school may not be the same for everybody. Now, here's another example. I had a dream about, recess, and I think it was like 6th grade. That was like the best time of my life when I went to school. Like, that was the best year. I think it was like 6th grade to no, I lied. 5th grade to 9th grade, right? Were actually pretty decent for me. So when I'm in a good place and, I see things and I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could do that again because that was so fucking fun. Like, I did it in 5th grade. And then I have a dream about playing kickball or like dodgeball, all the things I liked. It then is like correlating to the event that is currently happening, but instead of anxiety, it is nostalgia and bringing back pleasant memories. So that is pretty much a quick rundown of why people, dream about school. And yeah, it's different for everybody. But yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. If I missed something, please let me know. I will be happy to answer you in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope I answered any questions you had, and I will see you guys soon.